Hello.
Are
It's
live.
Tuesday
It's Tuesday. Welcome back, Mrs. Williams.
and I'm back.
What's up, everyone? We all seem
I was
so super enthused today.
I was on grandma duty weeks. I was on grandma duty for 2 weeks, but I'm back. Baby girl went back this morning.
Mm,
We miss her. So yes.
He is very, very
I'm back.
sweet. What a sweet little thing she is.
He is. Oh yeah, you talked to her.
She thinks
So
every
yeah.
phone call's for her.
You said what?
She thinks every phone call's for her. The
Yes, she
face
does.
up and she starts chatting.
It's not.
No,
No.
some kind of is.
No.
Mine
So
is getting there too, but it's all good.
you have,
yeah.
you have really cute grandchildren. You got a
You
bunch.
can have them.
Do
Yeah,
y'all know I'm having another one?
oh damn. Okay. You catching
Your
No,
up?
nephew,
Oh, you
kind of
passed
your
me.
nephew, your nephew is busy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's that Sagittarius in him. It's what's up. We we do things.
He's a nut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And that right there goes into our topic for the day.
being vulnerable.
Vulnerability.
That's right. He's very vulnerable at times, I guess. Huh?
He needs somebody to just hug him.
Yeah, there you go.
Vulnerability. What does this mean? What what does vulnerability mean to you? Me, I'll start it off.
Yeah,
Vulnerability.
because you're the only
vul-
one right now who's in a successful relationship. The rest of us are just a mess.
I'm in a
Not even,
successful relationship
With
with
yourself,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes,
And you're very vulnerable with yourself at times.
yes, yes. That works.
so I think vulnerability is very hard for people, believe it or not.
I agree with you.
Vulnerability is hard. Like because some people might feel vulnerable, but they won't speak it because they fear of judgment.
Because your brother, who is me, do not like being vulnerable to no one.
I agree.
And I believe a lot of times people
Did we lose Barbara?
weaponize
Did we
the
lose Barbara?
well, she's somewhere around there. She'll be back. I think people weaponize your
Barbara, be
vulnerability.
back, y'all.
Yes. People vulnerabilize. People weaponize your vulnerability and use it against you.
And I feel like when people have been in a situation where that has happened, it's they are afraid to then go ahead and do it in their current relationship
Hmm.
because of what happened to them before. To me, vulnerability is the hardest thing to get back once it's been stripped away from you
Hmm.
in a relationship.
I agree with that. 1,000%, not even 100%, 1,000%. Because I will, as you've known me all these years, I will not allow myself to be vulnerable with certain people.
But
With
that comes
certain
from a
people,
place.
right? With certain people, I have no problem. You already know, like, if you my
Mhm.
people, I got you. I'm vulnerable. I got your back. Whatever, whatever. But in a romantic relationship or whatever, nah, that ain't gonna happen. Like that vulnerability, nah, don't even look for it. Because like I said, I feel and I've experienced this. I feel like when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, like this is me speaking as a man. And I think some women tell a guy, "Oh, I want you to speak your mind, and I want you to be open." And when you become vulnerable and you speak how you feel, people try to weaponize that against you, and they try to flip the whole narrative around. So now you're looking like, hold up, I'm the crazy one now. So I'm like, nah, I'd rather not even deal with it. So I keep my feelings to myself, and that's not good. That's also not good in a
No, it's
relationship.
not.
That is not good at all. But I find that that's what I do. I keep my opinions, I keep my emotions and everything to me. And then I'm like, all right, whatever happened, happened. If we don't fuck with each other, oh well, there'll be someone new.
And that definitely comes from a place of where your vulnerability was once not kept sacred.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
100%.
like,
So Barbara, what's your take?
oh no, I agree. You know, a lot of the times you're vulnerable with someone, like really you lay yourself bare, and they're not ready to receive it. And then when they are, you're like, I can't go there again. I don't feel valued and protected, and I don't have it to risk it
Right.
because it's a risk. Being vulnerable, you're risking something.
I agree.
And there used to be this joke when I was like a young woman, a bunch of guys that hung out in the bar where I hung out, they would be like, oh, she looks like she could get vulnerable. And now when I think about it, it's like, that was a terrible statement. Because that's a person who looks like they would want to give you more than you deserve. And a
But
lot
I also look at it as when you open yourself up to vulnerability, and to me that's allowing a person access to your inner self, or allowing a person uh, access to your emotions. And when you allow a person access to your emotions, that's given a lot of yourself. And if a person isn't genuine and they're more manipulative than anything, that's when that vulnerability really becomes the problem. And that's when people start backing up and saying, I can't do this anymore. Um, you have to look at things in a different light. So when it comes to that, you have to step back and reevaluate your situation. And sometimes, like I said, you'd rather not even deal with it than go through all that. Like I said, that's why I've always been quick to dismiss people. I'm like, whatever, go ahead, it's all good, because when you open yourself up to vulnerability, and you allow a person in your circumference, and then they show that they're not really there for you, you become, how could I put it? You become colder and unwilling to deal with certain situations. And I've
Mhm.
found that in myself. Like I said, I know my faults, so I'm cool with it. But I've found myself over the years seeing like different people in different situations, and I'm like, hold up, nah, you ain't even worth it. So whatever. And like I said, plenty of times Sean would be like, "Wow, you can't like dismiss
I
people so
got
quick."
Icebox where my heart
Right,
used to
right.
be. Da-da-da.
But like I
That's
said,
where Icebox come from because he don't show a vulnerable side.
but like I said, when you show that vulnerable side and
Mhm.
people try to take advantage of that, you're not going to continue. That's like if you're in a relationship and someone beats you, you're not going to allow them to continue to beat you.
Well, that's true.
You just
That's true.
you just got to change the way you conduct things. So I've stepped back and I've been like, it ain't worth it. I've been in relationships or I've dealt with people, and like I said, I've been in situations where people have been like, "Oh, tell me how you feel about A, B, and C," and as soon as you tell them, they're like, "Oh, but now you're being controlling." So why would you ask me how I feel about something if you try to weaponize the situation right away? If I tell you I don't want you to go to a wedding in some booty shorts, to me that ain't
Oh,
right. That ain't manipulating. That's not being controlling. That's just it's telling a person how you feel about a situation. So nowadays, I tell people don't even ask me those questions. Do what you want to do. If I don't like it, I'll just leave. That's it.
which is okay.
Right, right. You don't
Okay.
gotta stay. I don't gotta stay. We both have the opportunity to like just bounce, and I don't think that leads to long term relationships very much.
No, it doesn't.
But
When you're not vulnerable, it can lead to a breakup.
oh no, I know easy, very. Come on, how many
Because then
breakups?
it's like, how do I know how you feel? How do I know these things if you're not being vulnerable enough to trust me enough? Because I feel like, do you agree or disagree that vulnerability goes hand in hand with trust?
Oh yes, and I don't trust no one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, and vulnerability creates a deeper trust.
Right, and that's the reason I don't trust no one, because vulnerability. When you open yourself up to be vulnerable, you telling someone,
I trust you.
I trust you, I believe in you. And when you do that and they show you now like they don't have your back, you look at situations completely different. So at least that's from my perspective. That's how I took it. I'm like,
No, I think that's how it is, because when you're vulnerable, then like you said, you you're giving someone a certain amount of trust. You're giving someone a certain amount of power over your
Yeah, when
feelings,
you
over
give
your
some-
thoughts, over your
yep,
all of that.
when
yep,
you're vulnerable, you give someone power.
There is
yep.
a certain amount of power you give them.
And let me tell you something now, Sean. This is something you said about me for years, and it is 100% true. But that's why
What?
I have every woman I've dealt with on such a short leave. I don't take but so much because I'm not open to that vulnerability. So now it's like you're not gonna have the opportunity to mess it up because I'm not even going to give you that opportunity. So,
Let us pray, everyone.
but that's that realness. Because listen, like I was having a conversation with someone, and this person, and it was two males and a female, and the female was saying she's friends she's friends with most of her exes, and both of us guys was
I
like,
don't understand that. I
right,
don't understand. I think that's the most stupidest thing.
and both of
Maybe I'm
us
not.
guys,
Look, maybe I'm not vulnerable.
right, but both of us guys were like, no, when it's over with, it's over with. I don't wish you no harm. I don't wish you no ill will or whatever. Because how the topic came up, we were talking about the lotto, and homegirl said, if I hit lotto for like $100 million, I would give my ex I'll give my ex a couple of mil.
She's nuts.
And I said,
Is this,
do
this
you
the
have a
baby
man?
daddy?
No, just an ex. And
She's
I
nuts.
said, do you have a man? And she was like, I said, your man will be cool with that? Oh, my man would have to understand because that's a friend of mine. Like, we were friends for years. And I was like, you're
If Kevin
insane.
give money, if we win the lottery, he give money to an ex that's not his baby mama.
Right.
I'm gonna push him. I'm gonna push him down the steps
Let me tell you
and collect the money.
I said the only woman that I dealt with that could get any money from me if I hit lotto is my kid's mother. And that was my wife.
That's what I'm saying. His kid's mother,
Right.
He can give his kid's mother's money. Outside of that, you giving somebody money, you to go ahead and just write your will because I'm gonna kill you.
Right. I'm like, it's like
We
it's
would probably,
certain things-
I would help you guys to make sure that it was in some kind of trust where they had to submit receipts.
right.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's
No
certain things. It's certain things I don't allow for, and that also comes with that vulnerability because people do retarded shit like that. You
They
see
do.
what I'm saying?
They do.
Like I watch these little TikTok videos where I have these girls talking about, well, men are so controlling and they want to rule us and one guy said to the young lady, and I never even really put it out like this to someone, but he said, would you like your husband to go to a bar where a bunch of women are trying to pour liquor on him, like get him to drink, trying to take him home with them, and try to take advantage of him? And every girl was like, no, of course I wouldn't. And the guy said, every time a man's woman goes to a bar, 90% of the time, that's what's going on. Guys are hitting on her. Now, that's not to say you're not allowed to go out with your friends and stuff like that. But what he was saying is certain situations you shouldn't put yourself in. In certain situations,
Agreed.
you understand your role. And a lot of people, like I said, society doesn't understand their role anymore to me. And like everything is all topsy-turvy. Married women want to be party women. Married dudes want to be party dudes. And
Married dudes always wanted to be party dudes.
Huh?
Married dudes always wanted to be party dudes.
But see,
That's
that's
a
not true because I know a lot of men. I know a lot of guys.
Wait, hold up.
Yes,
Stop, because
I know
raised
a lot
you
of
better.
guys.
I raised you better. Are you trying to say dudes want to be married and women don't?
No, I'm not saying that. No, not at all. What I'm saying is, like, women always say, oh, guys are this guy. I know a lot of guys that are very faithful and very loyal to their women. There's a lot. But there's also a lot of women that cheat and are not faithful to their men. But people don't talk about that the way they talk about the men.
I don't agree with that. You know why? Because it's y'all got hip to us that we are better at this than y'all are.
No,
so this we talked about.
No,
we are
used
way
to be
better
better
at this than y'all are.
Women used to be better.
No, we still are.
No, women don't even care no more. The whole genre is in now. It's like it's cool to be a whore. Like that's what it is now. That's what people say. Like,
oh, all right.
But no, I'm serious. That's what people say. I don't think it's cool on either side. I think if you're supposed to be in a committed relationship,
I agree with that
You're
because
supposed to be
I just had a conversation with somebody who was like, she, she don't care about the other person's mate. She don't care about this. She don't care about that. Like
and that's
she,
foul to me. I know somebody that's like that too. They were like, I don't give a damn. It's on that person. And I
yeah,
said, but you wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. So why would you do that to anyone else? And the
but
person was
it goes back to what we said: hurt people hurt people.
right, right. Yes, yes, yes.
So
That is
these people who out here, I don't care about them because usually they got it done to them. So now I don't care about their
right.
feelings because they feel like nobody cared about theirs when it was them.
Or they had a messed up childhood.
That's why you have to, like, when you care about somebody, you got to dig deep,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't, that's your whole reality. That's all you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because, all right, you've been hurt. Somebody was unfaithful to you. So now you're going to look for somebody who's taken and assist them to be unfaithful. Because nobody causes another person to be unfaithful. I don't believe that bullshit for 5 hot seconds.
I
But
don't either.
assist.
No,
So
that's no such thing.
Because to me, you if you're unfaithful, you want it to be.
Right. You knew what you were doing. That's what I
you,
always say. And that's where me and Sean always butt heads too, because Sean said, oh,
No, no,
mistakes
no, no.
happen.
No, no,
Mistakes
no.
happen.
I'm saying what she was saying, like people go, oh, it's your fault because you wasn't vulnerable and I didn't know how you feel. I felt like I should have went to go cheat. That's what you're trying to say, Barbara?
no, not at all. No. What I'm
So
saying is you're single, but in
mhm.
your last relationship, you gave it 100. And now you're out there and, like, you want to hurt somebody. You want
Because you was hurt.
join hurt people, and you
Yes,
want someone to join in your pity party.
But that's why I tell people
Yeah,
if you were hurt, before you jump back into something, get yourself together. Go get treatment.
people don't
Do something.
nowadays. They just be bunny hopping.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like where you said about the ladies and how it's no, women are worse than men now, or just as bad. If
Just
you
as bad.
listen if you listen to these podcasts, I'm like, oh my god, like it's
I say
horrible.
they just as bad because women honestly are emotion like when they cheat or when they think it's more emotional.
Right,
Men, y'all just do it to have notches on your belt.
right, right. No, that's true.
right, right.
That's true.
Men, and this is a generalization, don't at me, but this is the generalization. Men do it because their physical needs aren't being met. Women do that because their emotional needs aren't being met.
I think men do it because wind blew on their dick the other day and they just is fucking horny. I don't believe that every man that cheated, their physical needs is not being met. Some men is got bitches swinging off the fucking chandeliers and still walk out the fucking house and cheat.
That is also true.
That
That
is,
is also true. It's about the person. That's
It's a
why
character flaw.
right,
Cheating is a character flaw.
cheating is definitely a character flaw. And that's where I was talking about our old conversations where you would say, well, why's you too hard? Things happen, people make mistakes. And
That was 20 years, Sean, though.
right, right. And
Sean.
I always said nobody ever made a mistake and fell on a penis.
I agree with that. I agree
Right.
with that.
So you
I
know
agree with that.
a guy knows exactly what he's doing and a woman knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is when you leave yourself vulnerable, that is one of the hardest things in life to deal with, because no one wants to look foolish, no one
Mhm.
wants to be hurt,
Mhm.
no one wants to put themselves in a situation where they're like, "Oh wow, what the hell just happened?" So you really have to look at the situation for what it is. And when it comes to relationships, that's why, like I said, a lot of times it's like I'd rather just not go there, just do me, have fun, and not worry about a relationship. And then you don't got to worry about the vulnerability at all. Now, is that the right way to think? Hell no, it's not. But
No, that's more leaning towards insanity, but okay.
I don't think it's insanity. I think it's,
When you make a conscious effort not to be vulnerable to people, that is
why is
crazy.
that insane?
Because of the simple fact is that, like you're saying, like you're making a conscious decision not to trust no damn body.
Because this ain't nobody out there to trust.
That's kind of excessive.
It is excessive. He knows it's excessive.
No, I don't
He
think it
knows that. You know that's excessive.
I don't think
You
like
don't
that.
trust your ex-wife.
She's my ex-wife.
What does that mean? That's also your friend.
Well, we wouldn't have a romantic relationship
I
now.
didn't
So,
say romantic. You don't have to
all
be
right,
vulnerable
all
only
right,
with romantic people.
right. I was talking about romantically. Now, if you're talking about, do
But
I
you
trust?
once had a romance.
Right, and I didn't trust her.
You didn't trust her when she was your wife?
No,
Oh, holy shit. This is Justin.
This
I didn't know
this
that.
has had
no,
Harold Wise in a vulnerable moment.
no, I really didn't. Yeah,
Oh,
Really?
I had reasons. I had a reason,
Okay. Okay.
but it was, I ain't saying she was out there cheating or whatever, but it was something that I found that I really didn't like. Now, that was my fault because I really didn't speak on it afterwards. I just was like, okay. Instead of going to her and saying, "What's up with this? What's up with this?" But that was young wise. And as I moved on in life and dated others, I never would hold my tongue anymore. I held my tongue in that situation, but nowadays I don't hold my tongue unless I feel it don't matter anyway. Then I'm like, fuck you, I don't even care. So,
Oh my god.
but like I said, it's like I said with the other one I was talking about. When you're telling me, even if you're in a relationship, you still would give your ex like, all right, I already know you're a Riri, so I'm not worried about it no more. So
Not a
I
Riri.
already know all we're doing is banging, and we have nothing else to go for from there. So it's nothing to look for. Like, why would I leave myself vulnerable to you when you already fell out the crib and bounced on your head a couple of times?
Jesus help us, Lord. So
not exactly an example of vulnerability. I think this might be an example of the absolute opposite of vulnerability. Just saying.
yeah.
Instead of being real and soft and saying, like, I've been through some things, and you saying that makes me feel X and Y and Z.
I had to come to the realization that, like, I had to be more vulnerable in my relationship because, like, I think the final thing we learned in our marriage was like your mate should be your best friend. Your mate should be the one you talk to. Your mate should be the one that you kind of divulge everything to kind of, or whatever like that. And like, although I have my girlfriends, of course, but like I definitely did want that whole thing where you see couples like, my mate is my best friend. And like this lady said, like she explained why she felt like her husband couldn't have friends that were girls. And she was like, because when, like basically when you say, so like if I'm saying Wise is my best friend and not Kevin, Wise is the one that I'm being vulnerable with. I want to tell him everything that happened. I want to tell him, when I got the job, when I didn't get the job, when I got a promotion, when this funny thing happened, and that develops a bond. And when she explained it that way, I was like, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
100% makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Why, like, you can't, when you're married or in a relationship, that person should be. I look, I still don't want to say you're everything, but kind of you're everything because of the simple fact that when you are vulnerable to that person, you're going to that person, that one person,
Right.
and you are doing these things with them.
But see, it's nothing wrong with saying a person is your everything, because they're your
That was
everything.
me. That's
They're
me.
your everything to a certain point. Do
Right.
you have outside friends? Do you have a circle that you communicate with besides them? Of course.
Right.
But
Right.
when shit hits the fan and when things need to be taken care of, this should be your go-to person. This
Right.
should be your person that,
And that is a level of vulnerability.
yeah, it is. It definitely is. I just haven't found that.
One
But
of
I'm
the
looking.
biggest things that was wrong in my last relationship was the lack of vulnerability. And it's like there were things that now should have been like gigantic pink flags that I didn't even care about till like way, way toward the end. Things like um, passwords to like not Netflix, but like Sirius XM and um, Wi-Fi passwords and things like that. My ex would never just give me the password.
You couldn't have the XM password?
Yeah.
Wait, you could not have the XM password?
No.
Wow. That's something so simple.
Because it wasn't mine.
Oh.
But yet
Right.
I'm pretty much like I'm like, here, this is who I am. And other than seriously, other than like the password to my bank account, these are my passwords. It's either one of these three. Go ahead. And it was like it was a symptom of such a bigger problem. You know, you're in a relationship with Harriet the spy.
Not Harriet the Spy.
You're in a relationship with Harriet the spy,
Yeah.
and everything is super cloak and dagger. And then you realize that like sharing feelings is like he's taking them in a paper bag from home.
Mm.
What you need, if you love somebody, whatever it takes to break it down and give them that level of vulnerability and tell them all the things that you feel about them,
Mm-hmm.
better be prepared to do it. And if you're not, then don't get into a relationship.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Do not. Like right now, I have people that are interested in having some level of a thing. I am not ready for you. The only thing I am ready to do for you, this is my pink. I am this color pink flag right now.
That's
I am
fuchsia.
prepared to get out there and hurt you. Because hurt people
Okay.
hurt.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like, I'm not ready to be vulnerable. And for a long, long time, I was super ready. Like I went to so much therapy, and I was all ready to be like the right person for the right person. Because you cannot meet Mr. or Miss Right until you are Mr. or Miss Right.
I agree with that.
So you step into a relationship and you're like all good to go. You're like emotionally healthy and open to like giving and receiving love. There's only so many times when you're going to get hurt. And then you're going to be like, I got nothing more to give you. You're going to have to give me a whole box of vulnerability before I give you one tiny nugget more. And now, like every conversation that I have with my ex, he's like, well, what do you want me to say? I want you to say so much that I don't even know where to start.
But is it really vulnerability if you tell him what you want him to say?
No,
But
that's
see,
why I don't even know where to start.
Because you're
let
not
me,
honestly being vulnerable if you were told.
Yeah,
right.
what am I going to tell somebody to say to me if they haven't figured it out over the course of a decade?
Mm-hmm.
But it also comes down to, say you're dealing with someone, and like I said, you telling someone, listen, I'm not comfortable with the way this is going. If that person turns around and go, oh well, I think you're trying to run me. So
Oh,
now you're being vulnerable, but that person, like I said, is using your vulnerability against you and weaponizing your feelings. And now they're trying to manipulate what you are bringing to the table. So that's why sometimes it's better to just be like, yo, okay, you don't got to worry about this because we're not going to go there. And you just keep it moving.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like somebody will weaponize your trust.
Right.
They will take advantage of the fact that you really want to allow them to be like your everything. And you get like a big fat no. So then what do?
You leave in my wise voice.
That was not your wise voice. He's got that gravelly thing down.
Let me tell you, man, I'm like I look at it like when people talk about commitment and vulnerability and relationships, it's so deep because I also don't believe in the saying hurt people hurt people. I don't believe in that. I used to believe in that. I don't believe in that.
All right, tell me why. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear
Because
this.
because to me, I feel if you don't have that in you, you're not
Have
gonna
what
try
in you?
to hurt people. It's people that have been dogged over and still never went and dogged over no one else. You have to have that in you.
It's a character flaw.
Right. You have to have that in you. And if you don't have that in you, that just says a lot to me. Like I look at it like you have to be in a relationship, you have to want to be vulnerable. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be willing for the give and take. It can't
Mm-hmm.
be all about you. It can't be
Mm-hmm.
all about the partner. It's about both of us. That's why, like I said, I always believed in that happy house, happy spouse, not the happy
Happy
wife,
wife,
happy
happy
life.
life.
Not like no, all that is insane. You want to have a partnership. You want to have someone that you could sit down and converse with and
Mm-hmm.
bounce ideas off of. And it shouldn't be like I was having a conversation and I was telling a person when you have a disagreement shouldn't be a fight. A disagreement shouldn't be like, oh, I gotta win or you gotta win. No, it's we're sitting here talking about this so we could come to a conclusion and we could get the situation fixed. Neither one of us has to be right or wrong. The situation itself could be right or wrong, but the people aren't.
But I will say this, and I 110% agree with what you're saying, but there are people who have unhealed traumas who feel like every time that you either say something about them or whatever, their guard is up. So
Hmm.
they're not going to be vulnerable. They're going to make it into an argument. They're not going to make it a moment where y'all connecting and making it a vulnerable situation because their traumas, that comes from an unhealed trauma place.
Oh yes, yes, that's true. That's true. And my thing is, sometimes you got to understand a person is just not for you.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Sometimes in life, a person is just not for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I just like as far as like the even with just being vulnerable when it's not even an argument.
Hmm.
There are people who they can't be vulnerable because they are just still in that space where they are not healed from wherever it was. Like
No, that's
that's
true.
just where it's at,
That's true. And let me
you
tell
know.
you, this
So
is the weirdest,
got
the funniest thing. But I'm actually going to say it, and it's real.
oh lordy.
I haven't told no woman in the last I don't know how many years,
Don't say nothing crazy.
like, oh, I love you.
You tell me you love me all the time.
I'm I'm saying romantic. You my
I'm
sister,
playing.
but I have no, nope, I haven't. Straight up, like, nah, and that's cool. I feel if you can't, if you really can't say it meaningfully, don't even go there. Don't waste your time.
I agree.
Oh, and what's up, Miss Jackie?
Is that your guess, Mr. Wise?
Remember when I moved to the Bronx and I first got that's I was with young Jackie,
Hi, Jackie.
you know.
No what? No, Jackie. What? Why you said no? Talk to
Yeah,
us.
talk to us. I want to know why she said no too. I think I was with Jackie when I moved to the Bronx.
Not I think. Oh,
No, I
you
know I
make me
was.
trying to have a heart attack.
I'm just messing with her. But like no, what I'm saying is seriously for like years, I haven't said
So you've been connected with these women and you have never said I love you?
No, I haven't told anybody. Nah.
Outside of your wife, you've never told anybody. After you left your wife, you have
No,
not
no,
told
no.
anybody.
I'm saying in like the last
He can't
10
even think.
years.
How long you been separated from your wife?
Oh, a long time. Remember, I was when I
When
was
I met you, you were
I was
divorced.
already divorced and
Yes,
everything. Yeah,
when I met you, you were divorced.
yeah. So that was like over 15 years
Yes,
ago.
agreed. About
Right,
10 years.
right. So
Yeah, we've known each other. We've known each other about that long.
right. So it's been a minute. But like I said, I
I
feel you
know.
that stuff you just don't throw around.
But you
You
don't want that? So you don't want to be in a space of vulnerability where you receive
not
or
at all.
give that?
Not
Oh,
at all.
Jesus Christ.
I'm cool. I think people aren't sincere. I
Not
really
everybody is not sincere,
I really think
but I do believe a lot of people love with conditions.
right. Right. And I feel if you love someone, you love them for them.
You can have
And
because
no one is
I
perfect.
play.
What happened?
Well, you got to say it again because we lost you with Wi-Fi.
No, I'm saying like people have to be real and honest. And
Mhm.
and I think people aren't sincere like they need to be. And that's one of the biggest problems. And like I don't have time for it. So like I said, it's easier sometimes just to chill by yourself. And I'm all right with that. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like that in one point in my life. I did. I felt like, you know what, if I'm not gonna be with somebody who if I'm gonna end up with somebody who's wasting my time, I don't want that. I don't want that.
And you have to understand like what's going on and what's really behind situations and stuff like that. And I like I said, I just feel like I said, if a person is going to if you're going to be in a situation, go into it 100%. If I would never say I wouldn't get into something, but I will say I'm the type of person, if I'm going to go into it, I'm going to go into it with the intentions of being real and honest and sincere. And if at any point I feel that this person isn't on the same wavelength as me, I'm out. That's it. Why wait? Life is too short. I waste too many
I
hours.
agree with that.
I
Life
waste
is
too
too
many
short to
hours
be
already.
anything but happy. Life is too short to be anything but happy. And if that's not where you at, then you know what? Find your happy.
That's right.
I agree, Jackie. She said
No, that's a
exactly.
hundred.
Just waste my
That's a
time.
hundred
I'm
percent.
likely going to prosper, not just time.
That's 100% true. Like
True.
if we're not on the same page,
What
we
are we doing?
shouldn't. Right, we shouldn't waste each other's time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 100% true. And sometimes it takes you a while to understand that because you're looking at the situation through the wrong lens. You're looking at the situation like, oh, I like this person, I care for this person, I want to be with, but this person ain't looking at the things the same way as you. Like you could be looking at it like, oh, well, I love her, I love him, we could be a good team. That person could be looking at it like, I I care for him or her, but I don't know how far in this relationship we could take it. And if you see that, you might as well let that person know. Like I said, I'm I'm at the point in life like you know how I am, Sean. I'm like, yo, it is what it is. Like I've had young ladies be like, yo, you know I like you. We could do this, we could do that, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No, yeah,
I'm good.
because you know who's gonna value your time, and you know who's gonna waste it, and not in a good way. Because there's nothing wrong with going on a date with a perfectly nice person and hanging out and chilling and see where things go, and then
But the person who is nothing like, not to cut you off, the person who says to you, you know, I'm not going to waste your time, is the person who's about to
who's
fit in
gonna
to waste
waste
your
your
goddamn
time.
time.
Yes, a lot.
They are
A lot.
absolutely gonna waste your time.
They are
Or,
in a race to waste your
or
time.
sometimes you're wasting each other's time because you think it's right, and just because you think it's right doesn't mean it's right. You know what I'm saying? You could click with somebody, everything like 70% could be on point, but just that little 30, just that 30%, you could be like, hold up, but I need that 30%. And if we can't have that 30%, never make it over the threshold. So like sometimes you could really care for a person, you could really like a person, you could really think that person is everything, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's not. You guys weren't meant for each other. You were meant for the moment. And I have had people say, well, even if you guys aren't gonna make it for a long term, you could just have fun together. I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time having fun. I have like I don't even want to
Look,
have sex with
I
you.
got friends, I got sisters, I got nieces and nephews. I get all the fun I can handle.
Right, right.
If tomorrow
And
is the first day of a possible forever, keep it pushing. I don't give a shit. I don't know you yet.
I agree. I live with my ex-husband, and at this point, to go out and have a good time, and if I can't go with me, I'm out, and I'll be home.
but see that's she's saying their relationship that works for that. If that works for them, that works. Some
That
people can't do
listen,
that.
right?
Some people can't do that. And I'm a person that like now, like I said, you've you've been with me where I've seen people I've been dealing with, and they go, "How you doing, Wise?" And I keep walking like they're not even alive.
Well, you've been with me where people have tried to do that to me on
Right,
a straight up fire drill, and I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you? What's your name? Where are you
right.
from? I don't know. I don't
Because
know what you're
I,
talking
I
about.
feel I feel if we're not going to be real with each other, if it's not going to be genuine, don't waste my time. I don't want to
Yeah,
sleep with you. I don't want to go have a drink with you. I don't want to do nothing with you because, like Jackie said, life is short. You can't waste your minutes. It's real, and like
that is real.
you really gotta do what's right for you. And sometimes what's doing what's right for you is, and this is gonna sound crazy, is doing what's right for the other person more. And when I say that, I mean if you know that you're not capable of doing A, B, and C, or you're not vulnerable enough to say, like, say I'm dealing with Jackie and she needs me to do certain things. And for some reason, I know I'm never going to do it. I don't want to do it. I shouldn't waste her time.
Right.
No.
That's it. Or if you know deep down inside, like, you know, I'm attracted to this person, but I know I'm never gonna marry them. I know I'm never gonna. It's never gonna get to that serious point. Why do that to a person?
Agreed.
Like it's crazy. It's not worth it. So don't put yourself in that situation. And I try not to, but like I said, we are all humans. I'm a little different than a lot of other humans, but
A little.
Front about it.
yeah, I'm just upfront. Like I've always for years I've been like, yo, I have no time for the bullshit. Like
Yeah,
I've
since I've
learned
known
that.
you. Since I've known you.
No, Jackie, I have got much worse since no. She said, "Oh yes, no, trust me, I've gotten a lot different, but it's cool though because I've learned like you can't keep your mouth closed. You have to say what it is. You have to be real, and that to me, when you say I'm not vulnerable, I say I'm very vulnerable because I'm vulnerable enough to say, yo, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm vulnerable enough to say this isn't for me. So you know now, like instead of playing games, instead of playing with, I tell people all the time, the worst thing you could do in life is play with someone's feelings. That's one of the worst things.
I agree
I'd
with
rather
that.
a person tell me, listen, I like you, I don't love you, I don't see a future with us. I'd rather a person do that than to string me along. And I'm never
I
gonna
agree.
string no one along. Like, do what it is, be what it is, but let's not play the game. And being vulnerable, like I said, to me, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable if
Mm-mm.
you're being vulnerable to the right person.
Agreed.
No, it's perfect.
Agreed.
You can be totally vulnerable and like at the end of the day tell them like this is what I'm feeling, this is what I need, this is what's going to make me feel good, this is what's going to make me feel bad. That's perfect. Like what was the best part of your day, what was the worst part of your day?
Right. And the
you're,
best part,
you're intimate and you're bonded.
right. And that intimate the vulnerability and the intimacy goes hand in hand. And and like I said, if a person isn't showing you their truth and they're not trying to respect your feelings, then you got to be like, yo, like, I don't have time for this. Not at all. And, and,
I agree,
and
Jackie. I agree with that. All right, y'all. We are 2 minutes.
We are 2 minutes
Have we
into
talked about next week's topic?
what would we like to do next week.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I got one.
You got one?
Tell me what you're thinking.
Can you be friends with your ex?
Fuck no. Next.
Yeah.
But see, there you go. She says yes.
Boo! No.
You
Sean
can't
says
really
no.
be friends with, you can be friends, you can co-parent with an ex.
Co-parent.
Friend.
I'm
Co-parent.
saying
Go
And
ahead.
to me, if you was madly in love with this person, right?
Uh huh.
And there's no kids involved, and y'all
Uh
was
huh.
in a true
Uh
committed
huh.
relationship, how could you really how could you go to being friends with them when y'all was lovers in a committed relationship? You understand what I'm saying? Now, like to me, I don't want you to use your ex-wife only because there's stipulations there, how you said certain things that y'all realized in the breakup. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, if y'all really, to me, Sean, I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
me, Sean,
Mm-hmm.
if I was in a committed relationship with somebody and we broke
Mm-hmm.
up for whatever reason, why the fuck do I want to be your friend now?
And let me tell you something even about
I got
that. I'm
friends.
sorry.
We're better
I'm
friends than
gonna
partners.
keep it 100% with most men.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with someone that I dated for quite a while.
How old were
Would he
you?
smash? Would he
I was
smash?
yes.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, especially if you're in another relationship, you can't be friends with that person because he would smash.
I
Like,
was
I ain't
at
gonna lie.
every ex. I
No,
was
I
at
ain't gonna
every
lie.
ex funeral in my head when we was
You
I
breaking up.
see,
I told you.
you see Jackie right there, right?
I don't want
If
to
me and
put anyone
Jackie's in
on
the same
blast in
room,
the world.
if we're in the same room and she be like, "What's up, boo? How you doing?"
I don't want to put
And
anybody on
you
blast in
don't
the
think
world.
I'll be like, "Yo, let's go." She
I
already
You
know
want that
that.
old thing back?
She already know that.
You want that old thing back?
You know what it is. You know what she remember. She remember. Ask her about
Go
Lucky
ahead.
Seven.
What would you? Well, Jesus Christ.
Ask her
What you was
about
gonna
Lucky
say, Barbara?
Seven.
You don't want to put anybody on blast, but what?
But I have a good friendship, and we hang out and we do stuff, and we've met each other's people, and we have mutual friends. And
But how old were you when you was dating them?
I was a little baby.
One, that's one. Two, were y'all like were y'all fuck buddies or were y'all like in a real committed relationship where y'all was at each other's house for Christmas with the other with the other people's family?
Yes, and yes, and yes.
So it was all of the above.
At various times, like we've known each other our whole lives.
But
We
to
known each
me,
other.
it's a difference between going to. I can be my fuck buddy's friend. I could be my fuck buddy's friend. I can't be my. I if God forbid if something happened to me and Kevin, I'm not gonna be his goddamn friend. Fuck him.
But look what Jackie just said. She said she's a friends with her ex and she's living with him. But if that, what I'm saying is, if y'all still have some type of attraction, if there's any attraction there, it can
For
happen.
any second that you are in a drought and that person is your friend and you
That's
know that
right.
familiar thing, you're gonna go fuck on that person. So no.
Nope, 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 no.
So then you don't have an attraction to them anymore. There's
We're
no
both
way you don't. To me, there's no way you have an attraction for somebody. You said what?
For our age and socioeconomic and everything like that, we're both very attractive, good on paper people.
No,
No,
she's saying, are you
I'm
attracted to
saying
that person?
Yeah, he's
sexually attracted to that person right now.
Like if you saw him, would you still want to jump his bones?
no.
See, that's what
That's what
she's
I'm
saying. What we're saying,
That's what I'm
if you
saying.
do, if you have that attraction still, you can't be friends.
Ain't no way you could be friends. No
I mean,
way.
I
Because
thought
you're
But
going to still fuck on
if
that
you
person.
don't, right? If you don't, then you could be friends. That's like
I'm sure I've thought about it. I'm sure he's thought about it, but we did not act on an impulse for a variety of different reasons.
mm. Well, Jackie has tried to rape me before, so I don't know.
I'm done with you and Jackie. I have to go put a child to bed.
All right, so are we going to talk about this one next week?
We can. This is gonna be good. We can.
Yeah. Okay. It's not
All
about
right.
the bone. Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Jackie,
Thank you, my
bye-bye.
lovely sisters.
Thanks,
I'll
everybody.
see y'all next week.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Maria.
All right, later.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye bye.